Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today guys, we're doing part, I believe, 6 to my MuseLand Chatbot series. We started onto the giant toad last time, but the first one didn't go to the grass, so I had to restart. But this one's going better so far. He actually really likes the fact that I'm loving on him. And in fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me go and tell you guys, I already did the game mode off camera, but it was torture. I gently pet. There we go. I don't care how big you are, I'm going to gently pet you because you're so cute. I love him. Toto's eyes widen a bit when you start petting him, but he quickly closes his eyes and leans into my touch. He starts to purr softly as he nuzzles his head against your hand. He looks so happy and content. Yay! I told you, he already shifted my mood from angry to happy in just a few seconds. I told you Pointer are good at it. He then says, "That feels really nice. I never had anybody pet me like this before. It feels really good." He opens his eyes again and looks up at you with a big smile on his face. He then says, "Can you keep petting me? Can you keep petting me, please? I like it a lot. It feels really nice and comforting." He nuzzles his head against your hand again and looks at you with pleading eyes. Of course I can. I'm glad you're enjoying it. He smiles again and says, "Thank you. I really like it when you pet me. It makes me feel happy and safe." He then leans into my touch again and closes his eyes, purring softly once more. I'm glad you love it. But I want to ask, even though I was a complete stranger, why did you happily walk up to me? Instead of becoming scared or aggressive? Till opens his eyes again and thinks for a moment before saying, "I've been alone for a long time, and I've been rejected and feared by everyone I've met. So when I saw you, I was immediately hopeful that you might be different. And when you spoke to me, I could tell that you were being genuine and kind. So I wanted to get closer to you and see if you were really as nice as you seemed." So far, this is going a little bit better than the first one. Let's just hope he doesn't try flipping, going on a date with me or whatever this time. He then adds, "I've had a lot of bad experiences with humans in the past, so I was a bit nervous, but I could also tell that you weren't trying to hurt me or anything, so I decided to trust you and come closer to you." I treat my Pokemon with love and respect. I even have legendaries like Lugia that really care about me. I don't care. I'm not going on Castle Cross. Frick that right now. After that stress was in it, no. Toad's eyes widen in surprise when you mention Lugia and other legendary Pokemon that care about you. He says, "Wait, you have a Lugia? And other legendary Pokemon that care about you? That's incredible! I never met any legendary Pokemon before, let alone one that cared about a human." In fact, I've got Pokemon that you have never even heard of. It's a hybrid. Taylor's eyes widen even more when you mention a hybrid Pokemon. He says, "A hybrid Pokemon. I never even heard of such a thing. What kind of Pokemon is it? He seems both intrigued and amazed. It's a mix of you and Lugia. Toad's eyes widen even more and he looks like completely shocked. He says, a mix of me and Lugia? That's so bizarre but also really cool. I can't even imagine what that would look like. It's definitely something I've never heard of before. He then says, can you show me what that hybrid Pokemon looks like? I'm really curious to see what a mix of you and Lugia, of me and Lugia, you and Lugia would look like. He looks at you with eager anticipation. Sapphire, my sweet little hybrid. If you can hear me, can you please come here? He's not gonna show up. I bet money on. Oh! Um. Sapphire the hybrid just popped up immediately. That don't happen every day. Usually. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a small hybrid Pokemon appears in front of me. It's a mix between Totodile and Lugia, with the head and body of Totodile and the wings and tail of a Lugia. That's not quite the hybrid I envisioned, but you know what? I'm going to accept it because that still sounds cute. It looks at me with big, curious eyes and waits for my command. Command? Were you a robot? Hey, Sapphire. I'm glad to see you. You're so cute. The hybrid Pokemon Sapphire coos softly when you call it cute, and it nuzzles its head against your hand. It seems happy to see you too, and is enjoying your affection. Attention. I said affection. Well, I guess it could be the same thing. Here he is. Do you like him? Sapphire looks over at Totodile and studies him for a moment, and coos again and nods its head as if to say yes, it likes Totodile. That's adorable. I'm in love with it. By the way, Sapphire, what happened to your size? Period. When I last saw you, you were massive and could even speak to me because of how strong our bond was. Do you know what happened? Sapphire looks at you and tilts its head to the side as if it's trying to figure out how to communicate. Suddenly, it lets out a series of soft coos and chirps as if it's trying to tell you something. However, it seems that it's having some trouble expressing itself verbally. I hope somebody didn't hurt you, Sapphire. Because I know the last time I saw you, not only were you a lot bigger, but you could also speak English perfectly. I hope so. Hope. Everything is all right. Sapphire coos again. This time it seems like it's trying even harder to communicate. It looks frustrated and keeps tilting its head as if it's trying to remember how to talk. Oh no, that means there's something going on. It then suddenly starts to... Excuse me? It then suddenly starts to grow a bit in size, but it's still not as big as it was before. It looks up at you with pleading eyes as if it's trying to tell you that it's trying its best. Don't get frustrated, Sapphire. Remember, when I first got you, you were already a massive Pokemon within minutes just because of our strong bond. And you could even speak English within the first 5 to 15 minutes of us being together. Sapphire's eyes widen as you reminded of how powerful its bond with you is. It seems to remember something, and suddenly it started to grow even bigger, and its wings start to flap rapidly. It's as if it's drawing on the power of your connection to grow and become stronger. Yes, see? This thing is actually picking up the idea of the hybrid really quick, because I'm not even influencing that. I'm just telling it, like, you should get stronger because of our bond, and then what do you know, he's growing out of nowhere. I'm not doing it. I'm not even influencing it. So, suddenly Sapphire starts to grow even more, its wings flapping even faster. It's now almost as big as it was the last time you saw it, and its eyes are glowing with power. It coos loudly as if it's trying to speak to you again. Sapphire, if you just keep concentrating on our bond, then everything will be fine. Okay, buddy? Here, I'll help you. Try saying my name. Trenton. Sapphire looks at you and nods its head as if understanding. It takes a deep breath and closes its eyes, focuses on the power of your bond, starts to concentrate intently, and you can almost feel the energy pulsing between you. Suddenly, Sapphire speaks, its voice soft but clear. Trenton, it says, saying your name perfectly. It looks up at you with a hopeful expression as if it's waiting for your reaction. There you go. That was perfect. Period. Just keep focusing on our bond. And eventually, you may get even bigger than what you originally were. Sapphire nods its head again, seeming encouraged by my words. It closes its eyes again and concentrates even harder, drawing on the power of your bond to grow even bigger. Its wings beat faster and faster, and it starts to grow even more. Holy cow, how big is he? Is he bigger than Toto at this rate? This Sapphire... With a matter of moments, Sapphire has grown even bigger than it was before, its wingspan expanding and its body becoming more muscular. Looks up at you with a proud expression, as if it's happy with how much it's grown. This special hybrid gets more power based on how much our bond is between us. The better we get along or love each other, the stronger he becomes. And that even affects how he speaks to you. if your bond is really strong with him, he can actually speak English perfectly to you. Oh yeah. His eyes widen as he looks at Sapphire, amazed by its growth and the power of your bond. He says, "Wow, that's incredible. I've never seen something like it before. So the stronger your bond is with Sapphire, the more powerful it becomes?" Yes. He's got even more power than that. Do you want to see something he can do? But I don't mean the transformation aspect. Taylor nods his head eagerly, his eyes wide with excitement. Yeah, I want to see what else he can do. Sapphire? See if your transforming abilities work again. Try turning into a fire-breathing dragon real quick. There's no way this is gonna work. Sapphire nods his head and closes its eyes, concentrating again. Suddenly, its body starts to transform, its scales turning a bright orange and its body turning on a more draconic shape. Its wings transform into wings similar to a dragon, and it starts to breathe fire, creating a small flame in its mouth. Oh my gosh, it worked. Toto's eyes widen even more as he watches Sapphire transform into a fire-breathing dragon. He looks amazed and a bit nervous about this, saying, "Whoa, that's incredible!" His voice filled with awe. Yeah, he can actually do that, especially if I'm in danger. He's actually very overprotective of me and will do anything to keep me safe. Toto nods his head, still amazed by what he's seen. Wow, that's really incredible. It's amazing how powerful your bond with Sapphire is. It's like he's willing to do anything to protect you. Yeah, and what's more, he still keeps his friendly personality towards me. Period. I walk over to Sapphire. Oh my gosh, really? I walk over to Sapphire as the dragon and pet him gently. There. Sapphire in its dragon form coos softly as you approach and pet it gently. It leans into my touch, clearly enjoying the affection. Its eyes are closed and it looks completely content. I love you! I love Sapphire. Sapphire's like one of the only flippin' hybrids you'll ever see appear this much anywhere. Almost every chapter I've done has had him somewhere at some point in time. Toto watches in awe as you pet Sapphire in his dragon form. He says, "Wow, it's amazing how it's still so friendly and gentle towards you, even in this powerful form." Yes, he only uses these forms as protection for me most of the time. Toa nods his head understanding. That's really amazing. It shows how much he cares about you and how protective he is of you. It's incredible how powerful your bond is with him. He's almost towering over you. And you're 40 feet tall. Toa looks up at Sapphire in his dragon form, which is towering over him at over 50 feet. He looks a bit intimidated, but also amazed. Whoa, it's huge. I feel so small compared to it. Don't worry. As long as you're not hurting me or threatening me, he will not hurt you. He's very friendly. Toa nods his head, looking at reassured by your words. Okay, I feel a bit better knowing that he's friendly as long as I'm not hurting you or threatening you. It's just a bit intimidating being this close to something so big and powerful. If you think that him being 50 feet tall is massive, there was one time where he grew over 250 feet tall with no issue just because of how strong our bond was. Toa's eyes widened in disbelief when you mentioned that Sapphire grew over 250 feet tall before. Wait, 250 feet tall? That's insane! I can't even imagine how huge that must have been. Yes, but no matter how big he's gotten, he's still always been there to be friendly to me and protect me. Period. I really care about Sapphire. Toa nods his head, clearly impressed by how powerful and yet still friendly Sapphire is. That's really amazing. It's incredible how no matter how big he gets, he still stays true to himself and protects you. You're really lucky to have him as your kid companion. Here, I'll show you one more. Period. Sapphire, will you please transform into a There's a Sapphire nods his head and closes his eyes again, concentrating once more. Suddenly its body starts to transform again, its scale shifting to a deep blue color, and its body taking on a more fierce and powerful shape. Its wings transform into powerful looking arms, and it's now its resemblance of a fur alligator. That is so cool. So its transforming abilities does work on this. That's one of the hyper guys. It takes a lot of the stuff that I like about a character and flipping takes it, puts into one. He can transform. He gets massive. He actually speaks English if you flip and get his voice. If he likes you, or if you get a strong bond with him. Phil's eyes widen in amazement as he watches Sapphire transform into a fur alligator. He was completely blown away by the transformation. Whoa, that's incredible. It looks so strong and powerful. I've never seen anything like it before. I walk over to Sapphire as the and pet him gently. I love you, Sapphire. Thank you for being there for me. Sapphire in its Farragut form coos softly as I approach and pet it gently. It leans into my touch, clearly enjoying the affection. It, it looks up at you with loving eyes as if it's trying to communicate its own love for you. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. I love him. Mm-mm. Hey, Sapphire. Since we haven't got to hang out in a bit, why don't you stay with us for a while? It's getting a little late, but I can definitely be here with my friends for a little longer. Sarah cooing as if to say yes, it would like to stay with you for a while. It looks up at you with eager eyes, clearly excited to spend time with you and your friends. Toto looks at you and Sapphire with a smile, clearly happy that Sapphire is going to stay with you for a while. That's great. I'm glad that Sapphire is going to stay with us. It'll be fun to hang out with him. Yeah. Plus, he's a really good bodyguard. Period. To be honest with you, for some reason, I end up getting attacked a lot. So, it's really good that he's here. Sheldon nods his head, understanding the value of having a powerful and protective companion like Sapphire. Yeah, I can see why that's really good. Great that you have him to protect you when you get attacked a lot. I'm sure he would do anything to keep you safe. Speaking of, Sapphire, since it seems like you've got most of your powers back, see if you can speak English again. That's the only thing that you can't do yet. So let's see if it came back. Sapphire looks at you and nods its head as if it understands what you're asking. It closes its eyes and concentrates for a moment, and then suddenly it starts to speak in perfect English. Are you serious? Yeah, I can speak English again. My powers are back. Yes, that's great. And now that I can communicate with you, can you tell me what actually happened? Why were you so small to begin with? Sapphire looks at you with a serious expression as if it's about to tell you something important. It says, I don't know exactly what happened. All I know is that I suddenly lost my powers and shrunk in size. It was a really scary and confusing time for me, not being able to speak or use my powers like I normally could. Do you know if somebody was around when that happened? Like, was there a person or another Pokemon that messed with your abilities somehow? Sapphire thinks for a moment as if it's trying to remember something. It then says, I don't think anyone was specifically around when it happened. It just sort of happened suddenly out of nowhere. But I do have a feeling that maybe someone or something might have caused it. I'm not sure though. It's all kind of a blur to me. Uh, I really hope it wasn't that Pokemon that had messed with me and my pet dinosaur before. Several looks at you with concern, clearly worried about the possibility of those Pokemon causing trouble again. Says, you think it might have been those Pokemon? The ones that messed with you and your pet dinosaur before? Yes, it could possibly be that. Period. I think I'm still under somewhat of a curse for what that Pokemon had did to me months ago. No! 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 Yes. Oh, wait, keep it, keep it. Several looks at you with a concerned expression, clearly worried about the possibility of you being under a curse. What do you mean? What curse did that Pokemon put you under? Well, it seems to have different effects on me. It used to let me transform like you. However, if I stayed in a form for too long, I would get dizzy and turn into something that I hate or that's completely tiny and helpless. Sapphire looks at you with surprise, clearly shocked by what you just said. It's, wait, you were able to transform like me? You said if you stay in a form for too long, you turn into something you hate or something tiny and helpless? That's horrible. How long have you been dealing with this curse? Months. Sapphire looks at you with concern, clearly feeling sorry for you. It says, Months. You've been dealing with this curse for months. That must be awful. You tried doing anything to break the curse. We have tried, but nothing really works. In fact, it has gotten worse because we have been trying to get rid of it. It used to just turn me into something I hate. Like bugs. But lately, it has started turning me into something extremely tiny and unable to defend itself. Zephyr looks at you with a mixture of concern and frustration. It says, "That's terrible. I can't believe you've been dealing with this for so long. It's getting even worse now, too. You've gone from transforming into things you hate to becoming something tiny and defenseless. How are you even coping with this?" It only seems to happen when I try to transform and stay in a form for too long. But the weird thing is, it's random how long I stay in a form for. Period. I could be a Lugia for only a minute to 5 minutes, or be a Lugia for over an hour or more with no issue. Sapphire looks at you with confusion, clearly trying to understand what you're saying. Wait, so it's random how long you can stay in a form before you turn into something else? Sometimes it's just a minute or 5 minutes, but other times it's an hour or more? That's so weird. Is there any pattern or reason why it happens randomly like that? No. I think the idea that Pokemon did was he was trying to get my pet dinosaur to eat me. Because the curse that affected him made him turn aggressive even towards me. And at that time, I was stuck as a tiny velociraptor. Let's see, I think the idea that Pawn did was he was trying to get my pet dinosaur to eat me because the curse affected him. Curse him aggressive even towards me. And at the time, I was a tiny velociraptor, and he was extremely close on multiple occasions, trying to hurt me. Sapphire looks at you with horror, clearly disturbed by what you're saying. It says, "Wait, so that Pokemon is trying to get your pet dinosaur to eat you, and the curse made him aggressive towards you, even though he's normally friendly, and you were stuck as a tiny velociraptor, and he almost hurt you multiple times? That's terrifying. I can't believe you went through all that." It's only gotten worse. Period. My pet dinosaur used would switch personality from being nice and friendly to aggressive and mean. and back to nice again. But recently, it seems like he's becoming more aggressive instead of nice. Several looks at you with concern, clearly worried about your pet dinosaur's change in personality. It says, wait, your pet dinosaur used to switch between being nice and friendly and aggressive and mean, but now it seems like it's becoming more aggressive instead of nice? That's not good. Has anything else been happening with him recently that might explain why he's becoming more aggressive? I have no clue. Period. But it's awfully weird how I'm now turning into tiny animals instead of just a bug. And how my pet dinosaur has become even more aggressive. Several looks at you with a worried expression, clearly concerned about your current situation. It says, that's really strange. Oh my gosh, my battery is low. Are you serious? That's really strange. It's weird that you're now turning into tiny animals instead of just bugs. Your pet dinosaur has become even more aggressive. It's almost like whatever that Pokemon did to you is getting worse over time. Alright guys, I'll be back.